Many of you may be thinking, well, drugs don't concern me, but it does concern you. It concerns us all.
In the last decade or so, the conversation about the legality of marijuana has transformed. Mainstream conservatives are now speaking openly about the economic and medical benefits of marijuana in ways that only the counterculture would have dared voice in the recent past. The stigma around pot has prevailed in American culture all the way back to the turn of the century, when cannabis went from a commonly used medicine and cash crop to a substance unanimously demonized by mainstream culture. So what happened? How did we go from benefiting from cannabis to demonizing it? Harry Anslinger was a U.S. governor and vocal proponent of banning alcohol in the 1920s. In 1930, he was appointed the first ever Narcotics Bureau Commissioner, thus starting the government's war on drugs. With the help of media tycoon William Hearst, Anslinger spread exaggerated and often fabricated stories to magazines and newspapers across the nation in an effort to condemn marijuana. In the decades following, the political attack on cannabis only gained momentum. In the 70s, the Controlled Substances Act was passed under then-President Richard Nixon, condemning marijuana as a drug with no medical use and placing it in the government's most restrictive category, Schedule 1, making it more illegal than cocaine, opium, and ketamine. The following decades were clogged with anti-pot rhetoric and misinformation to silence the American conversation on cannabis. But now all of that is changing. Since the late 90s, radical changes have been made to cannabis law, with 30 states allowing medical marijuana, and 9 taking the next step to legalize recreational use. Even the president is taking part in the cultural shift.
The marijuana thing is such a big thing. I think medical should happen, right? Don't we agree? I mean, I think so.
Before the Singapore summit, the president made headlines when he verbally backed a bipartisan marijuana bill led by Colorado Republican Senator Cory Gardner. The legislation, called the States Bill, would end the Controlled Substances Act, effectively removing marijuana from the illegal drug schedule and granting states the right to decide how they would handle legislation. And according to the latest research, the U.S. stands to generate upwards of $130 billion in tax revenue from such a change, creating an estimated 1 million jobs in the process. President Trump's successful backing of the legislation would position him to go down in history as the leader who ended a nearly 100-year prohibition against a versatile and valuable cash crop. Luke Glaze, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.